Amy Fineburg,
Hi, Garth.
welcome to Denver.
Thank you. So good to be here.
Yeah, good to be here again.
Yes.
We tried this back at APA convention in Chicago in a stairwell, and the
Bad
sound
acoustics.
the sound quality wasn't great.
Yeah.
But I really want to talk to you about this, and I think
Yeah.
that our listeners are going to want to hear about something that I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
And now, see, this is the problem, is that I've had it two months or so to chew on this.
Yes.
But when we originally recorded
Yes.
I was floored. It was
very surprising for me too. And we should probably say what the it is. The it is that I have recently been hired by the College Board to be the director of AP Psychology for them. And it was not something I looked for, not something that I have been grooming myself for, but it seems like it's the job I've been working toward most of my life,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so
Wasn't the
it's pretty
story
exciting.
that you were just kind of like poking around and
I
saw?
was. I think I was poking around on the internet. I may have even seen it on a Facebook group where somebody said, "Hey, College Board is looking for a director of AP Psychology," and I think I had come to a point in my career where I thought I was ready to hand off the baton with teaching psychology, because I'd been an administrator for a while. I was working in a central office, and I was using a lot of psychology in my work. But as far as teaching day to day, I hadn't done it in a while. And so when this job came open, I thought, oh, that would be so cool to be able to step back into that world that I loved so much. It's like my first love.
I know it
is. And be able to influence where AP Psychology goes for the next, 10, 15 years or so.
Yeah.
So I clicked apply, sent in my CV, and the ball started rolling, and became a candidate with them, and one thing led to another, and so now we're here, and I'm an official employee of the College Board after 24 years in public education.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, we are excited to have you there, and there's this nice hybrid thing that's going on between you, our STP president-elect,
Yes,
and
I am.
now you're working for the College Board.
Yeah.
And I think we've been trying to bridge those gaps between
Yeah.
APA and College Board at least as long as I've been active,
Right.
and just finding ways for us to be more consistent with how psychology is taught, particularly intro psych.
Right.
How are you thinking about those two things?
Yeah, so one of the things that was really enticing for me coming on with the College Board was just the expression from the folks there about how much they wanted to be sure that the courses were aligned to what the different fields were doing with their intro courses. And psychology had was up for a redesign, and folks within APA and STP and even within College Board kind of got together and realized that they needed to let the discipline drive what happens with the course. And so with the IPI initiative that you work with, y'all have been putting out student learning outcomes and things like that. And so they really wanted to bring in somebody who was able to have those relationships with people in the profession. And I think my work with APA and STP over the years was really enticing for them, bringing me on board to be in this position.
Right. I actually think they kind of won the jackpot, and you don't have to say anything about that, but because you also serve, you have roles at APA currently, right?
Not currently. I did last year fulfill the last of a term for my good friend and colleague Loretta McGregor, who couldn't finish her term on BEA, the Board of Educational Affairs, and so I've been a member of BEA
but you've seen
in the
it all
past.
from the inside.
I have. I've. Gosh, let's see. Last century. I joined TOPS and STP, and then I've not only done all sorts of work with APA and STP over the last 24 years of my adult career, but I've also done a lot of work with College Board. I was a reader and a table leader. I was an AP student. After I went into administration, I was an AP coordinator. I've been an AP workshop consultant for AP coordinators. So, I feel like I know the ins and outs of both AP and APA. And so I'm just in this really exciting position to bring those worlds together and create something that hopefully will be super beneficial for teachers and students.
Well, and you started this conversation by saying this feels like the job that you were just ready to do based on all this experience. So really cool that is the case. I remember, I don't know if it was in our conversation the first time I interviewed you on psych sessions, or if it was just in a casual conversation, but something within me remembers you saying that the reason why you moved out of the classroom to Jefferson, help me.
Originally it was to a high school, but the last district I worked for was Jefferson County Schools in Birmingham.
As an administrator, right?
Yes.
Was because of the change you could affect at that level?
Yes.
Curriculum change?
Yes. We're really all sorts of change.
Yeah.
So when you are a classroom teacher, you are in charge of the students in your classroom, and you are making a huge difference with those people in that classroom every day, building relationships, teaching them content, helping them grow. As an administrator on a school level or a district level or even a statewide level, you may lose that touch point with students where you're building the relationship directly with students, but you're able to forge pathways for teachers to be able to do what they do in the classroom better. And that was very appealing to me. Throughout my classroom teaching experience, I was always trying to use psychology to be a better teacher, and to be a better colleague. And so when I came out of the classroom and went into administration, it felt like a really good way to continue that and make more systemic change and more systemic progress, so that the teacher in the classroom doesn't have all of these kind of other distractions, and they can do that good work that they do with students every day.
Well, and now you're working, the next step is the bigger step now is College Board, right?
Right.
This
is
national,
like
international.
This is planet Earth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about that of everybody on the planet who's taking AP psychology, the buck kind of in some ways stops with me. Like we're looking at doing that redesign update. The AP Psych test and course, haven't changed fundamentally too much over the last several years, and so we're going to look at ways to make sure that it is reflective of what's going on in the discipline, and I'm hoping that I can bring a lot of the expertise I've built over the years with good teaching practices that I've learned from psychology and cognitive science, things like retrieval practice and those kind of things that we can weave into like the AP Summer Institute. And the College Board recently put out something called AP Classroom, where students have these formative assessments built in that a teacher can assign. How can we use psychological science to make those most effective?
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping I can affect that kind of change from the inside of College Board, so it doesn't feel like there's this big authority telling you what to do and how to do it, but that it's truly something that's going to be helpful for teachers to give students the psychological knowledge they need to be better students and maybe even choose psychology as a career.
Well, I love it because lots of my high school teaching colleagues are teaching multiple subjects.
Yes.
They don't have the time. I mean, even as college folks, we don't have the time to always be proficient in our pedagogy or to be completely to feel good about our scholarly teaching in every course and every and module.
Right. And much like high school teachers, a lot of college professors sometimes, especially junior faculty, they go in and they're asked to teach maybe a course that's kind of out of their doctoral area of expertise. High school teachers are asked to do that all the time.
That's right. So
many of our high school psych teachers were originally social studies teachers. They may have had that one class in psychology in college, and now they're having to teach it, and they're just like, help me. Yeah. And so what I'm hoping is that the curriculum, the instructional resources, and then ultimately the assessment is a reflection of the discipline and what the field wants, but also is packaged and delivered in ways that that accomplish what I feel are the two main goals of a high school psychology course. One, that is to expose students to psychology and help them understand what psychology is. But then two, be good consumers of psychological knowledge. If they never take another course in psychology, will they be able to understand a news report of a psychological research project? Will they be able to recognize that, hey, I probably need to go get help for a mental illness or a challenge I'm having in my life or in the life of somebody I care about? So if high school AP psychology can help further that goal as part of the greater package of non-AP high school psych and intro psych, then we will be a part of a really powerful experience for students that hopefully will be game-changing for their lives.
Good on the College Board to recognize that this is a good way forward, not only for psychology, but probably for all their subjects, right?
Yes, they essentially hired a course lead, that's kind of what they call us colloquially in the organization, a course lead for just about every course.
Well,
so
and let's
now,
be honest, they were doing just fine without
they
us
were.
Or without you.
They were.
Right?
They were. They put together some pretty great stuff. Yeah.
I mean, over 300,000 AP Psych exams.
I think I looked this up. 311,000 some odd exams last
year.
Year.
They're doing okay.
Yeah, and the person who did this work before me, her name's Catherine Walsh. She was an AP biology teacher. She also was doing AP psychology and just fell in love with it, working with us, which I think just speaks to our community as a whole. And the work that I'm seeing right now was really good work. So I have stepped into a really great place, but it's one, I think it's just really wise leadership on the part of College Board to make this investment, to be open to allowing many of the course leads to work remotely so that they can find, some of the best talent available to lead these courses. And then, give us the opportunity to use the relationships we've already developed with the communities to ultimately create a product that's going to work out best for teachers and students.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited about this, and it feels like we should also thank that group of people who was tasked with what did College Board call it? They put it on pause. They put it on hold. It was going to be starts with an A.
I think they were talking about the realignment committee or something. I think it was work that that some people within the test development committee were starting to do, and just the wisdom of everybody to wait for the APA to work through the recommendations that you all are currently working through, and then allowing psychology to, AP psychology to take some of those recommendations and make sure that we are being a true reflection of intro psych, because that's the key to making sure students are able to get college credit. If they're taking a course that a institution of higher education is not going to recognize as a equivalent intro course, they're not going to want to give credit. And that's one of the main reasons why we're doing it. Yes, I want students to learn psychology. I want them to be excited. I want them to love it. But ultimately, they're doing it so they have that opportunity to get college credit. Yeah. And so it needs to be aligned.
Yeah, that's great.
And I think it's great that APA has taken the lead and said, hey, we want to help define this and help shape this. And I think it's then also wise for College Board to follow that lead, and then allow us the time to craft something that will really be reflective.
Yeah, and well, the folks on that APA working group are many of us are we love AP. We've been a part of AP for a long time. So there is this really nice moment that we have right now where there is tons of crossover.
Yes.
So I know that you are probably thinking about your STP presidential initiatives, and I'm not going to put you on the spot to tell us what they are necessarily, but
you can.
Is there any overlap is what I am thinking about right now?
Well, I would say the main piece of overlap is that College Board has a really strong mission to make sure that AP is open and accessible for all. So they're very interested in making sure that the course reaches a diverse audience. And that diverse student voices are able to be heard and reflected. And one of my presidential initiatives is about diversifying the membership within STP. We tend to skew white and older. And so some of the things that I'm looking at within STP are creating spaces within STP where people who teach in different contexts, like high schools or HBCUs or R1 institutions, can have a place to kind of gather and network and affiliate and come up with projects that would be beneficial for people who teach within those contexts. Kind of parallel to my work with College Board is that I'm always on the lookout for people who can come to the table with me with either test development or with developing curricular or instructional resources who represent diverse voices. So as I'm looking out and trying to find leaders within the teaching of psychology world for bringing diversity to STP, I'm also looking for people who can bring that diverse voice to the work that I'm doing at College Board and provide, their expertise and their insight so that we're not presenting a non-inclusive view of the field and of what it says about human behavior.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think we will leave it there, or else we're just going to keep talking forever.
I know, we could.
But I'm so glad that you're in this position.
Thank you.
And it does feel like it's kind of right. And,
thank you.
And so have a wonderful year as STP president beginning January.
Thank you.
And good luck with the new job. You don't need the
you.
luck. You're
good
down
wishes.
with you.
Good wishes. Thank you. It's always good, and you guys at Psych Sessions, I think, are doing a great service to the discipline as well by bringing many of those diverse voices to the table and getting their stories out there so that students can have a role model for maybe what they think could be possible for them in the future.
It's on Eric's and my radar, and we are happy to take feedback and suggestions about people to interview to get those diverse voices.
Absolutely.
So let's align on that, okay?
Let's do.
Okay.
All right. Thanks,
you.
Garth.